Welcome. This is the second video in a series on ketamine state yoga. This video provides practices for the preparatory stage prior to the trip. Psychedelic healing ceremonies often feature intention setting. These intentions are often personal, revealing the individual struggles and obstacles in people's lives. Yet, at these sorts of ceremonies, a deep sense of shared pain often emerges. This type of intention setting builds motivation and focus. And there are other ways that you can further tap this motivational energy. Write it down. Write it down in a beautiful notebook. Write it down on a page that you then doodle all over. Say it aloud. Say it like you really mean it. Take a deep breath and try to feel your intention in your body. Frame your intention as a practice. For example, I want to be less angry and in less emotional pain could become, I will work on letting go of negative emotions and healing my pain. I want to stop hating myself and behaving terribly all the time. Might become, I will remember I'm a flawed human being and I'll work on cutting myself some slack so that I can put the energy into actually making progress. So you frame your intention in a way that is active, that can be practiced. I'm going to remember this, I'm going to do that. In Tibetan dream yoga, there's also an emphasis on intention setting. Tenzin Wangyal, in his book, The Tibetan Yogas of Dream and Sleep, calls intention an arrow. It's an arrow that you release into the night sleep toward your target of practicing within the dream state. There are actually two aspects of intention in this dream yoga practice. There's apprehending the dream, becoming aware that you're dreaming, and there's practicing within that state as opposed to becoming distracted with all the possibilities. This dream yoga arrow must persist in its course through the deep sleep stage, arriving into the REM dream prior to awakening. It's very important in these yogas that the intention be stored, in a sense, in the throat and heart in the body. Keep that in mind. And ketamine state yoga involves a form of intention more like the arrow of awareness from Tibetan dream yoga. This is the intention to apprehend the ego as soon as possible following the peak. The internal chatter, the clenching, constricting pain in the body. This is an incredible opportunity to vividly see the machinery that powers your suffering. When you see your thinking mind come back online, immediately following the peak, early in the come down phase, you may laugh at how ridiculous it is. So, just as a dream yogi trains to remember to check, am I dreaming? To notice, this is a dream. The ketamine state yogi trains to remember to notice the ego's reappearance after the peak of the trip. Here are two practices that are ideal for the preparatory period before your trip. They'll help you to apprehend your ego during the come-down phase. They will support your personal intention by perfecting and balancing your arrow. First practice. Pick some events that you expect to happen during the course of your day that in some way relate to your intention. For example, if your intention was, I'm going to work on letting go of all these self-loathing thoughts, and you expected to pass a mirrored window on your walk to work, and your usual experience was seeing yourself in that mirror would let loose a flurry of these self-loathing thoughts. So it's an event that you expect is going to bring you back to your intention. Or if your intention was, I'm going to work on letting go of all this anger, and you expected, because it almost always happens, that you'd feel a surge of anger entering the crowded bus station. That's another good example. An event you expect to happen that refers to your intention. These events are your chosen memory targets. Whenever you nail one of these targets, whenever you remember your intention, then bring your attention to your body. Take a deep breath from the belly, and when you exhale, really feel your body, particularly the heart center, right in the middle of the ribs. Let's try this. Look at something in the room that brings up an emotion. Deep breath. Notice the feelings in the body as you exhale. That's it. Well, that's the first step. First, you choose events that you expect to happen. When I walk past that window, I'll remember to breathe and bring awareness to my heart center. When I arrive at the office and I get that sinking feeling, I'll remember to bring the attention to my body and take a deep breath, etc. This is the first step, because eventually you're going to remove the specific events and just habitually tune in to your breath and body. Particularly when you notice anything that disturbs your balance or your flow, you return to awareness of breath and body. Second practice. This practice is about bringing awareness to your mind, of thoughts. Again, it will help if you pick specific targets. You can use the same targets you created for the previous practice, or they can be any events. When I sit down for coffee, when I check email for the first time in the day, when I notice someone with a blue shirt, it really can be anything, as long as there's a good chance that it will occur in the course of the day. When you remember, as soon as you remember, as your arrow strikes the target, there's someone with a blue shirt. Bring your attention to your thoughts. What are you thinking at that moment? What were you just thinking a moment ago? Notice the whole process. Notice how your mind is generating these thoughts. And, again, deep breath from the belly. This time, bring your awareness to your throat center, throat and jaw. As you exhale, silently, opening and relaxing this area around the throat. You may notice the connection between your internal self-talk and subtle feelings, holding, clenching in this area. Oh, wait, this is my first email of the day. Notice the thoughts. I'm still upset about what David said. I've been stewing and planning at some kind of petty revenge all day. I really notice how obsessed I am with this. Deep breath. Awareness on the throat. As you release. Let's try this. Close your eyes. Think of some thoughts you had, something you were thinking about. Invite the thinking to start up again on this topic. Whip up some thoughts. But this time, notice. Oh, thinking. Deep breath from the belly. As you exhale, awareness at the throat, letting go. So, to recap, for each practice, you set up targets, things that you expect to happen during the day that may be related to your personal intention. If you're practicing with the body, then whenever you hit a target, deep breath, awareness to the heart center as you exhale. If you're practicing with the mind, with the thoughts, then when you hit a memory target, notice the thinking, deep breath, awareness to the throat as you exhale. Returning to awareness of the body and the mind, again and again, breathing, returning in the come down phase, the long tail of the trip, the next days, weeks, and so on. This returning to awareness will allow your deep wisdom to work on realizing your intention. Your deep intuition, your ability to learn, your capacity to transform and heal. Next, I'll teach practices for the come up phase as the effects of ketamine are ramping up. Here we try to build toward a key practice for the very peak of the psychedelic experience. Thank you.